graduated from Rowan University in the spring of 2022 with a sports communication and media degree. I got to actually call minor league baseball and G League basketball games while I was in school. And then I graduated, and as soon as I graduated, I went to NFL Films in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And as much as I loved that experience, I miss putting on the headsets. I decided, you know what, talk is cheap. I have a laptop that's in my house, and so 21 months later, here we are, still on YouTube, calling games and building an incredible, loving community on here with the people that I call my Philly freaks with a capital P and a capital H. We go live for every single Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles game, and we do it like old school radio play-by-play style. I'm Jason Joseph, and this is Play-by-Play with JJ.
I showed a swung on barrel out to right field. Bye-bye baseball.
That baby is long gone.
Good evening, everybody. Hopefully you're all doing well and having yourselves a very, very fantastic day. The name is Jason Joseph. This is Play-by-Play with JJ, where we go on for Sixers basketball. We do Phillies baseball, and we do Eagles football as well. We do play-by-play on this channel. Play-by-play is the best, and we want to keep it alive because there is nothing better than watching a sporting event and just, turning off the TV, muting the TV and just putting on some audio and being a part of a very, very cool community, and that's what we bring on here. All right, hello. Hi, everybody. I really am happy to see you all, for sure. The vertical intro looks fantastic. That's great. Good. Astarkey is here. Jane is here. Astarkey, I hope that your migraine is better. Been thinking about you, for sure. And, who else? Who else we got? We got Jane. We got Katie. Our starting lineups are out as well, and we'll get into that. It looks like we are good to go. Mike is also here. How are you doing, Mike? What's going on? All right, so let's just dive into things. I did post a video earlier today, still getting reactions about the birds. So if you did not check that out, make sure that you do that. I need to zip this up. What am I doing? That looks a little bit bizarre. Okay, that looks better. And we can tilt this down just a little bit. That's a lot better. All right, good. Maybe a little bit more up. Okay, if you guys want to go check out some of my other content, we do some really, really cool things on here. But you're not here to go check out the other content. You're here to talk about Sixers because that's what we're doing tonight. We got another Philadelphia 76ers game. They lost last night to the Toronto Raptors. A very ugly performance by the Sixers, just to say the least. And now they're on a 4-game losing streak. They lost 106-103. And the main thing that everybody's talking about is why Joel Embiid did not take that three at the very end of the game. He had a terrible performance out there, and I've given my thoughts so many times. At this point, just let him get the surgery. There's no rush. There's literally no rush, and there's no reason why that he should be coming back this year. I don't even know if they're going to make it into the play-in tournament. And with the way that things have gone, I'd rather have him be healthy for next year, try to go for a run next year, and have him be at his fullest health. That's where I am. But he's not playing tonight. It is a back-to-back, and they think that he will return after the All-Star break. Tyrese Maxey is also not playing in this game tonight. Maxey is out in tonight's game. We'll get you more info on that in just a little bit. But Paul George is going to be out there tonight. And so what am I expecting from this Sixers team tonight? When Joel Embiid doesn't play, the Sixers look a lot faster out there. I hate to say it, but it is the truth. They look more quick. They look like that they're more together, cohesive, and the chemistry just clicks a lot better right now because the ball movement just looks more fluid. And with the way that things have gone, pacing in basketball really does matter. And so I expect the Philadelphia 76ers to go out there tonight with more quickness, with a little bit more of a pep in their step. And I also think that when it comes to just the youth that we have, playing the younger guys is going to help us against this Brooklyn team because they have a lot of young guys on their team too. And when you look at their roster, I mean, you look at Cam Johnson, you see Nick Claxton, you see some other guys, even though Cam Thomas has been hurt throughout pretty much the entire season. Tassan Evwamwan is 23 years old. Noah Clowney's 20 years old. They did get Bojan Bogdanovic at the deadline, and he's their oldest guy that they have, but he still is a very valuable shooter. Deron Sharp, 23. Trendon Watford, 24. They have a lot of young, tall guys that can just be very valuable when it comes to role players. And I expect the Sixers actually will keep up with the pace with them tonight, and hopefully they can do a good job of just manufacturing points and getting back out there on defense out in transition. The transition defense really sucked in last night's game. It was so bad, and it was very egregious. Just to watch this team get back on defense, you're playing 4-on-5 basketball pretty much every single time, and Toronto just has the advantage because they're hustling, because they're boxing out, and they wanted it more. I usually don't like to say stuff like that, but that was the truth. It seemed like last night when the Sixers were trying to go for rebounds, one of the there was always a Raptor that was down low in the dunker spot, and we could not get back. Whenever we were shooting our shots, we weren't going for rebounds. We were just standing, holding our pose, thinking that the shots were going to go in, and that's not how you win basketball games. Not every single one of your shots is going to go in. That's why you got to hustle. That's why you got to go for those rebounds and fight through adversity. And I didn't see a lot of that last night, and that's why they lost. And it shouldn't have even been that close. So that's where I stand in regards to last night's game. But when we look at this Brooklyn Nets team, okay, they're 19-34 on the season, right? They have had a lot of woes. They've had a lot of different types of looks in regards to their lineups. They just got rid of Ben Simmons. They finally let him go. It took them a little bit of time for them to finally do it. But over their last 6 games, they've actually won 5 out of their last 6 games. They beat the Charlotte Hornets. Claxton had 16 points in that game, was also 8 for 13 shooting wise from the field. You also had some nice contributions from guys off the bench like Deron Sharp, who had 14 and 9 and was a plus 16. Trendon Watford was a plus 26 out there and had 13 points and 2 rebounds and 4 assists in that matchup in just 20 minutes. They had a very good performance, and with the way that they've been playing lately, they just look like that they have hunger. They have poise. They also are just trying to figure out who's going to be in the NBA, who's going to get a contract, and all that type of stuff. When the Sixers were playing undermanned, we saw a lot more of that, but that's how this Brooklyn Nets team has been playing over their last 5 to 6 games. So I don't think that this is going to be an easy matchup for the Sixers tonight in game 54 of the season. But I do expect them to go out there and get a win. My final score prediction for tonight's game, I'm going to go with 112 to 101 Sixers. That's my final score prediction. I will write that down right now. I want to hear what your final score predictions are. I want you guys to tell me what you guys feel like the final score, what exactly the final score is going to be for tonight's game. I'm really stumbling on my words today. It's not good. I need to just chillax. I need to breathe and just let whatever it is come right to me. But yeah, 112 to 101 is my final score prediction for tonight's matchup. Let's go into the live stream screen and let's read what everybody else has to say. Gotta tell you about this documentary of the Eagles season up to the Super Bowl. It's like mic'd up behind the scenes, game footage from awesome angles and music to go along with it. I was crying. Yeah, I'll have to check that out later. JJ, we're world champs. Yes, we are. First game of the Four Nation tournament at 8, but I'll hang on in there with JJ. You're the best, man. I really appreciate you. Yeah, so what else do you guys have to say about this Philadelphia 76ers team? Do you hear an echo? Is there an echo? Can anyone hear an echo? Okay, no echoes on my end. Black and Cuban says Reggie Jackson needs to play over Kyle Lowry. Reggie's not on the team anymore, man. The Sixers cut Reggie Jackson on trade deadline day. So you probably didn't hear about that. But Reggie Jackson, actually, I'm sorry, he was traded and then he got cut. He was traded in the Jared Butler deal to the Washington Wizards, and then the Wizards cut him. So that's what happened with that. What's up, David? How are you, my friend? What's going on? How are you? What are your thoughts about this Sixers team? 111 to 90, 118 to 101 is my final score prediction. 111 to 97, Black and Cuban says, is his final score prediction. Okay, it's the Sixers in this. Katie's going to go with 112 to 90. And Scott goes with 118 to 101. And I said 112 to 101. That's my final score prediction. I have a lot of eyeballs tonight on Nick Nurse. There's no reason why Ricky Council should not be playing. He needs to go out there. He needs to give you minutes. And also, I think that Justin Edwards needs to go out there and he needs to ball as well. And Gershon Yabusele, I actually, the more I think about it, the more I like this team the way that it is. Again, no reason why Embiid and George should be playing right now. If they want to have a legitimate shot at this, then they need to play the younger guys. That's where it is. 117 to 103 says Jen Will. What's going on? We have a nice audience tonight. I appreciate you guys so much for being on here. 114 to 106 says Denbrew. Yes. David Podden says 111 to 100 Sixers. That's really good. Very, very good stuff. Are any of you still getting echoes? I think it's just you, Scott. You might have to exit out of the YouTube app and restart it. Or maybe it's in your computer settings. I don't know. I have no clue. But yeah, so Sixers have played the Nets twice this year, and they have beaten them twice. The first time they won 113 to 98. That was on November 22nd. The second time that they played was on January 4th, and that was back in Brooklyn by a final score of 123 to 94. Your echo is gone. Good. All right. We need 17 more subscribers in order for us to get to 4,800. So we're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. If you guys could do me a huge solid and hit that subscribe button and smash the thumbs up button, I would really appreciate that. The Nets tonight, if we take a look at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app, the Sixers are not the favorites in tonight's game. Brooklyn is. They're at a minus 125, and the Sixers are at plus 105. And the point spread is at 1.5. I think that that's a very tight game, and I don't know if I was a betting man. I don't know if I would pick this one, man. Please, Sixers, winning this game is pointless. Let's just secure our picks as CDW. 104 to 98, says Michael. What's going on, man? How are you? I'm blind, so I hope that your play-by-play will give me a good watching experience, lol. This is my first time on one of your streams. Hopefully it won't be my last. Michael, I got you, man. I do it like a radio play-by-play style, so I'm really happy that you found my channel because I love doing radio play-by-play, and I make sure that I try to be as descriptive as possible. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get in every single thing, but I hope that we can do a good job at explaining everything. Again, I go live for not just the Sixers, but I also do the Phillies, and I do the Eagles as well. Whenever I do radio play-by-play, the way that I always look at it is if somebody is blind, right? And my job is to be a tour guide and just guide everybody to where the finish line is and how do we get to the finish line. That's my mindset whenever I do play-by-play every single day. And I don't take that for granted. Sometimes I have to remember, too, as to, like, who's tuning in. So sometimes I sort of forget about that. but for the most part, I think I stay pretty true to that. So there's not really a lot of people who do traditional play-by-play on here. It's really hard, and so I'm really hoping that with everything that we talk about tonight, it'll be very descriptive where you can see the court and where you can see the players and that type of stuff, and that you can just put it in your head. So, all right, so let's get into the starting lineups for tonight's 76ers game. Let's go. Okay, so let us talk about the starting lineups for tonight's Sixers game. So for the Brooklyn Nets, they have D'Angelo Russell. They got Keon Johnson at the 2. Russell's at the 1. Zaire Williams is over at the 3. Then you got Cam Johnson playing the power forward position, and Nick Claxton is the center for tonight's game. So again, it's Russell, it's Johnson, Williams, Johnson again. So Keon Johnson at the 2, Cam Johnson at the 4, and then Nick Claxton at the 5. And then for the Sixers, from 1 through 5, they got Jared Butler, Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre Jr., Paul George, and Gershon Yabusele. And that is their starting lineup. So just to recap one more time, for the Nets, it's Russell, Keon Johnson, Williams, Cam Johnson, and Nick Claxton. And for the Sixers, they got Jared Butler, Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre Jr., Paul George, and Gershon Yabusele. And that is the lineup for tonight's Sixers-Nets game. All right, so let's also talk about the referees for tonight's game. I will get that up right now. NBA, oh wait, where is it? Referees. Nope, it's not here. NBA refs for tonight. There we go, referee assignments. So for tonight's game, we got Brian Forte as the crew chief, and then you got Eric Dalen as the referee, and then Suyash Mehta is the umpire for tonight's game, who's in his 5th season. He's from Baltimore, Maryland, and ended up going to the University of Maryland as well. Okay, so no McCain, no Lowry, no Maxey, and no Embiid in tonight's matchup for the Philadelphia 76ers. Heck yeah, my guy. I got money on the 76ers first half and a pickle, so let's go. Get a W, and let's go Eagles. I'm a Bills fan, but I live in Buffalo, so I was definitely rooting for Philly. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do I like Cam Johnson? Yeah, I think he's a really good player. I remember watching him on the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, for sure. He's very, very good. All right, so the Sixers playing at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn tonight. They're in their white and blue uniforms. They got the white stars going down each side of the jersey with the blue outsides. You also have Phila in text on the chest, painted in blue and outlined in red. And then right below that are the jersey numbers, which are also outlined in red but painted in blue in regards to their text. The Nets are in their black, white, and gray uniforms. They have a very interesting sequence on their jersey. It's like half white on the top half, and then on the bottom half, it's just a little bit of some gray, and on the shoulder parts of the jersey, it's black. They have the white letters and the numbers on both the front and the back, too. Sixers have had 33 different starting lineups this year, which is the most in the NBA. Golden State is right behind them with 32. Then you got Utah behind them with 30. So Yabusele and it'll be Claxton going up against each other over at the logo for a jump ball. And the ball gets tipped and it goes into the hands of the Nets as they go from right to left. So D'Angelo Russell is over at the top of the key. He'll cross on over 2 times, takes it down over towards the baseline, puts up a left-handed floater, and connects. And Brooklyn able to strike first. Again, the Sixers are going from left to right. and the Nets are going from right to left. We're at the Barclays Center, already 2-0 Brooklyn. What's up, Bonj? Here's Yabusele, who tries to back down his defender, was looking to try to post him up, hands it out over to Butler. One more to Oubre for a far corner three. It bounces 3 times, can't get it though, and the rebound finally goes to Cam Johnson. It was almost stripped away by the Sixers, but Johnson does get control of the basketball. 2-0 Brooklyn as they play hot potato, and Russell's at the top of the perimeter, wants to try to hand it off over to Keon Johnson, and then as Keon Johnson tried to pass it to D'Angelo Russell, he lost it, and it was last touched by the Sixers. Okay, already 2-0. Cam Johnson on the drive over towards the basket. In the lane, can't get it. Offensive rebound by Claxton, and he puts it back up and in. Nick Claxton wearing the mask, protecting his face, and it's sort of like the mask that Joel Embiid wore. So it's 4-0 Brooklyn already. All right, let's update this, and that is good to go. Sixers want to try to get a bucket here. Here's a jump shot by Jared Butler. They can't get it, and Cam Johnson corrals the miss. 4-0 Brooklyn, and just under 2 minutes into this first quarter so far. Cam Johnson will drive it into the lane, and he gets a layup as Jared Butler was guarding him, but that's a huge mismatch, and already 6-0 Brooklyn. Kelly Oubre slashing towards the rim and throws it down with 2 hands. And the Sixers finally get on the board as Oubre with a dunk from the near corner all the way over towards the baseline. Claxton wants to try to drive it inside, rejected by Paul George. Here comes Oubre out in transition. He goes up with a shot, and Zaire Williams fouls him over on the left side of the baseline. And so Oubre will head to the foul line, and he will shoot 2 free throws. And he will try to cut the deficit to 2. Tip-off got started just a couple of minutes ago, and Oubre is at the charity stripe. Give him just 2 points already. He scored on a dunk his last time that he was able to put it out on offense. Here's the first foul shot. It's up and in. Yes, sir. 6-3. Kelly Oubre Jr., 29 years old, 6 feet 8 inches tall, averaging about 14 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and 2 assists per game as well. Second foul shot. It's up and in. Excellent. Sixers trail by 2 points, and Jared Butler wants to guard D'Angelo Russell, who has the rock right now. Russell will get it back. Claxton over at the nail. Wants to try to hand it off over to Russell, and he does. Russell's still on the perimeter. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Now he's at the elbow, or the foul line extended. Finds Cam Johnson for a 3, and Johnson's three-pointer is way too strong, but they're going to call a backcourt, a 24-second violation because his shot was airballed, and it didn't even hit the rim. All right, so the Sixers will get the ball back. There's Jordi Fernandez, who's in his first season with Brooklyn as a head coach. George for a three-pointer, can't get it. Yabusele gets the offensive rebound, and he dumps it back off over to Jared Butler. And good ball movement again by the Sixers. Grimes gets it over at the nail, puts up a foul line jumper, can't get it, and it's rebounded by Johnson, almost stripped by Jared Butler, but retained possession again by Cam Johnson. 6-4 Brooklyn, 8:48 to go in the first quarter. A catch-and-shoot 3 is off the mark by the Nets, and Yabusele comes away with his first rebound of the ball game. Here's Grimes on the drive towards the basket, and he throws it down with one hand. Punch, counter punch, and the Sixers tie the game 6-6. All right, so Grimes is out there for the Sixers, just scored a dunk. Russell again gets a little bit of some daylight as he lays it up and in over on the right side of the baseline. The finger roll finish, and the Nets leapfrog the Sixers. George wants to drive it inside, kick out to Butler, one more to Grimes, another 3, big! From the near corner, Quentin Grimes going off like a microwave scorer. And already 5 straight points by Quentin Grimes and a timeout called by Fernandez. 9-8 Sixers as they've played 4 minutes so far in this game. And with 8:03 to go, the first timeout is called by Brooklyn. Okay, nice start so far. So far, so good for Quentin Grimes. Sixers were a little bit slow out of the gates. But then it was Oubre who responded with a dunk, and then he was aggressive on the next possession and ended up getting 2 free throws to fall. Right before that, though, you had a nice block. It was a chase-down block by Paul George off of Nick Claxton. So Sixers doing what they have to do so far. Oubre with 4 points, Grimes with 5, and Claxton and Russell each have 4 for Brooklyn. Yes, sir. There's Quentin Grimes. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. And turn on those notification bell icons. And that way you'll know when we go live. Okay. There we go. So what, where is our poll question? Where's our poll question? Didn't I ask a poll question in here? I thought I did. I could have sworn I asked a poll question. We got 80 views so far. Nets are 19-34. They have an 8-17 record at home. And the Sixers are 20-33. And they have 10 wins on the road, 16 losses. No poll yet, huh? That's weird. That's really odd. I thought I asked a poll question. I guess not. How many points will the Sixers put up tonight? So what? So we got 90 or less. Oh, you picked up Grimes? Dude, that's so sick. That's awesome. That's really cool. 101 to 110 or 111 or more. Yeah, he's a good player, man. He was a very good trade. I liked it when the Sixers traded for him. I thought that was a good piece that they got. I just can't understand why they gave up some other draft assets, but I like the player. He's a baller. He's a hooper. And he can take it right over to the cup whenever you need him to. And he's also athletic. He's sort of like a DeAnthony Melton, if you remember him. DeAnthony Melton actually now playing for the Brooklyn Nets, but he's injured and out. So we have an inbound as the Brooklyn Nets and the Sixers are back in action. The Nets have the ball, a 9-2 run by Philadelphia over the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Zaire Williams, Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, D'Angelo Russell, and Keon Johnson out there for the Nets. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Russell has it over at the logo. He's being guarded by Paul George, and he throws it away. It's thrown into the hands of Paul George. George finds Grimes, who runs downhill with a head of steam and throws it down again. 7-0 run just by Quentin Grimes himself. There's a shot that goes up by the Nets. They can't get it. Offensive rebound, though, and they want to reset it out over towards the top of the key. That was Cam Johnson who missed the 2-point shot, and Claxton got the offensive board. Russell for 3. Got it. Count it, man. D'Angelo Russell steps back and hits a 3 from the far wing. Sixers go from left to right in their white and blue uniforms. Butler looking for a screen, dribbles towards his left, kicks it out to Yabusele for a catch-and-shoot 3, and it goes down the drain. Kershawn Yabusele able to answer the bell for the Sixers, and finally somebody else rather than Quentin Grimes gets in scoring figures for the Philadelphia 76ers. Russell at the foul line extended, goes up with a floater, and he teardrops it and puts it in. Just right down the bucket. It was a rainbow arcing floater with that right hand. Sixers do lead it by 1, And Butler will take the rock himself. He crosses over. He steps back. A near wing three by Jared Butler. He's human. Yabusele tried to get the rebound, and they're going to claim that as he tried to go up with it over Cam Johnson, that Johnson did touch it last. But they're going to call a timeout, the Brooklyn Nets, with 6:20 to go. And I think that they will actually say that the Sixers got the offensive rebound. So it was Johnson who did touch it last, and the Nets may take a look at this. Okay. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go. I started watching Grimes in my... you started Grimes. Yeah, I saw Quentin Grimes when he was in the G League a little bit ago. JJ, no pull on the vertical. I didn't want to do it for the vertical. I just wanted to do it on the horizontal. How many points will the Sixers put up tonight? 91 to 100 is what 50% of you say right now. That's what you guys say right now. Good. 23 concurrent viewers on here. Please tell your friends and please tell your family members about this channel. My name is Jason Joseph. I do play-by-play for Phillies baseball, Sixers basketball, and for Eagles football. We do it like a radio style of a play-by-play, and we know that there's not a lot of people that do that on here, so we're hoping that you guys will stick around with us and that you guys will keep up to date with everything. We also have a very, very cool community on here, a very loving and supportive community of just a lot of Philly freaks and a lot of sports fans too. I want to try to continue to grow this brand and not only appeal to the Philly freaks, which I love my Philly freaks, but I also want to try to get other people who just love sports, period, involved too, and just give them an extra way of tuning in. So I went to just a little bit about me, and then I'll get back to the program. I went to school at Rowan University. I graduated in the spring of 2022, and I also got to intern at NFL Films, and I was really fortunate. I got to call Blue Coats games. They're the G League team of the Philadelphia 76ers while I was in school, and I also got to call minor league baseball for the Wilmington Blue Rocks, and I did some other things for them too. I did audio. I really tried to help out in a lot of different ways, but I love play-by-play. I love being on the mic. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. But yes, so that's a little bit about me. You're more than welcome to share some stuff about you guys, though, too. I love getting to know you guys, and I want to continue to grow this family on here. Kamel, what's going on, man? Random question, but JJ, are you ready to get hurt by the Phillies again? Kamel says, I am. Yeah, I'll put it to you this way. I'm not doing any spring training games. 162 for me is enough for the Phillies. It's going to be a long season. So I'll put it to you that way. Not saying that even 2 years ago when we started this channel that we did any spring training games. I will try to do a couple of spring training games, but I really just want to save it for the 162 because you're following them every single day, and it's going to be a lot, especially when I expect that things aren't going to be going so well at certain moments of the season. So the challenge is unsuccessful for Brooklyn. Remember, they just challenged the offensive rebound to see if it was last touched by Gershon Yabusele or not. So here we go. The Sixers will try to get the inbound, and Butler inbounds it underneath the baseline. The ball gets deflected, though, and it goes off the hands of a Brooklyn Nets player, and the Sixers will re-inbound it over from the Sixers bench area. So here we go. Justin Edwards gets the inbound pass. He'll toss it up over to Jared Butler. Butler gets tripped up, and with about 0.3 seconds to go on the shot clock, I think that the Sixers, he got tangled up a little bit. He was diving for a loose ball on the ground and just was able to haul it in. But the Sixers are going to have a jump ball with just 0.3 of a second. So even if they win the jump ball, they're going to have to just shoot it right away. So it'll be Jared Butler and D'Angelo Russell tipping it off over at the Sixers foul line. Russell does win the tip-off, so the 0.3 of a second didn't matter anyways. And they count that as a turnover from Jared Butler. And D'Angelo Russell comes away with the steal. The lineup out there for the Nets, it's Zaire Williams, Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, D'Angelo Russell, and Keon Johnson. Johnson down low on the block, gives it back, and there's a wide open three by D'Angelo Russell, and he cashes it in from the far corner. So Russell in this game, 12 points. He has scored 12 of the 16 points by Brooklyn. George with a step-back three, way too strong, and D'Angelo Russell there to catch the rebound. He wants to put up another three-pointer. He's human and can't get it. Quentin Grimes on the follow-through as he gets the rebound. Grimes down low, goes up with a shot. He's fouled. He won't get the bucket, but he will head over to the line to shoot 2 free throws. So the Sixers have to try to find a way to stop D'Angelo Russell, who already has 12 points. He's 2 for 3 from beyond the arc and 5 for 6 from the field, already averaging 13 points per game, and he's just 1 point below his average for the season. First foul shot by Quentin Grimes. He puts it up, and he does put it in. Jeff Doughton Jr. will check on in for Jared Butler, and the Nets will also make 2 moves. Jalen Wilson and Trendon Watford will come in for Keon Johnson and Zaire Williams. Grimes with 9 points. He's averaging 10 points per game, close to really 10.5. And the second foul shot, he knocks it down.
Excellent.
He's an 80% foul shooter this year and a career 77% free throw shooter over his 6 seasons of play. Russell drives it downhill, gets past Jeff Doughton Jr., and he gets an easy layup. 14 points for D'Angelo Russell, and he has just been red hot so far. Doughton Jr. with a dump-off pass to Justin Edwards on the far wing, and he'll skip pass it over to Doughton Jr. Andre Drummond, the former Net, checks in for the Sixers. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. George has it, finds Drummond down low, who puts it up off the window and kisses it in to tie the game. So George got the assist, and Andre Drummond was driving it to the basket over on the right side and was able to just get the soft touch. Drummond with a block on the other end. Grimes strips it from Keon Johnson. Drummond steals it. Doughton Jr. on a fast break, puts up a layup and gets it to go. Finishes with the underhanded scoop on the right side of the baseline, and the Sixers take the lead 20-18 with 4:05 to go in quarter number 1. Johnson on the drive, rejected by Justin Edwards, but they're going to call foul on Edwards, the undrafted rookie that the Sixers took this year. Oh, boy. This is just one of 6 games going on in the NBA currently as we speak. They did call a shooting foul on Justin Edwards, and Cam Johnson has a chance to tie the game back with 2 free throws. The first one, foul line right, but he got it. Tassan Ebwamwan is going to come on in for Nick Claxton. And Fernandez also decides to put in Day'Ron Sharpe for D'Angelo Russell. Second free throw, tie game. Line drive, it's good. 20 points for both teams in this first quarter so far, and still 4 minutes left to play in the first quarter. The Sixers last night only put up 18 points in the first quarter, and yet that wasn't enough. George at the top of the key wants to ISO, and now we'll pass it over to Grimes. Another 3 by Quentin Grimes. The basketball gods say no. Justin Edwards gets the offensive rebound, though, and boxes out D'Angelo Russell. George on the perimeter, double-teamed. He throws it down low to Doughton. Doughton tried to find Andre Drummond with one more pass on a skip pass, and it was intercepted by the Nets. Watford looking to kick it outside to Keon Johnson. One more for a three-pointer, and that's off 2. That was Tassan Ebwamwan who missed the tray over on the far corner. Grimes lost it as it goes out of bounds. Grimes was over on the far sideline beyond the arc and just dribbled it with the left hand, and it touched the white chalk. So there's a careless turnover by Quentin Grimes, and Tyrese Martin checks in for Cam Johnson. Sixers lineup, it's George, Grimes, Edwards, Drummond, and Doughton Jr. Grimes leading the way with 9 points. Watford opens the Red Sea and puts it up and in. Trendon Watford with a 3-foot layup, and the assist goes to Deron Sharp. George over at the top of the key, dribbles from left to right. Finds Andre Drummond, who spins. He's in between the baselines, and he tries to go up with a layup. Can't get it. It was contested, and 3 nets were there over in the dunker spot. One of them got the rebound, and that was Tyrese Martin. Martin will try to go coast to coast. He puts it up and in, but they won't count the bucket. They call a foul on the floor for Andre Drummond himself. That's just the first foul by Andre Drummond. 2 points for him and 1 assist. Guy who played for the Brooklyn Nets, we talked about it just a little bit ago, was with the Nets after he was traded alongside Seth Curry and Ben Simmons during the 2021-22 season. And then he left Brooklyn and he went to Chicago and played with the Bulls for 2 seasons, and now he's back with the 76ers. The Nets will inbound it. The Sixers did have a foul to give. Only 2 fouls for each team so far in this quarter. A wide open 3 is good by Brooklyn, and that makes it 25-20. It was swished from the near wing by Trendon Watford. He was wide open and just knocked it down with ease. 5-point lead for the Nets. Oubre on the near wing, on the perimeter. Now wants to cross over 2 times. Takes it with the left hand. Tries to go down low. Puts up the shot. Can't get it. Yabusele tries to save it, and he gets the rebound, but it's stolen back by Watford. Watford goes up with a shot. It's rejected by Justin Edwards. And Edwards has the ball as the Sixers get past half court. Again, they're going from left to right. Edwards steps back, fires the trigger. Bullseye! 3-point shot by Justin Edwards as he swishes it from another area code from 27 feet. 95 seconds to go in the first quarter. And here's another 3-pointer by Brooklyn and Jalen Wilson. His tray is off the mark. Sixers rebound. Oubre dumps it off to Drummond. And a little pass over to Jeff Doughton Jr., who goes down the lane. Tries to hit the layup. Can't get it. And Andre Drummond volleyballs it 2 times outside to Oubre to reset it. Sixers can tie it with a 2. Oubre down the lane. Goes up with a little floater. He's fouled. And he'll head to the foul line and shoot 2 free throws to try to retie the game. We've had a lot of moments in this first quarter where the game has been tied. I want to go back to that Justin Edwards 3 that he was able to hit. First and foremost, he blocked Trendon Watford as he got back on defense, and then out in transition, got to his spot on the near wing over on the right side, and just was able to step back and hit a 3 in his defender's face. First foul shot by Oubre. He'll swish it, and Andre Drummond will sub on out. They did call the shooting foul on Deron Sharp. That's just his first personal foul today. Oubre with 5 points. He's been perfect from the line. He's made all 3 free throws. The next foul shot, tie game. Excellent. 25-25. Sixers try to get a steal as the ball goes over towards half court, and Oubre fouls. It looked like it was Wilson. Wilson tried to get it past half court, and Oubre was just getting his hand into the cookie jar, and he made a little bit of contact with his belly. And so they're just going to call a personal foul on Kelly Oubre Jr. to reach and foul. 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Watford floater. No. Actually, it was an alley-oop pass that was supposed to go over to Evbwanwan, and he got it. 27-25. I spoke a little bit too soon. Brooklyn back out in front. Sixers looking to try to get the lead back in this game. Doughton Jr. turns around. He's over at the top of the key. He's blitzed. He bounces it over to Yabusele. Gets his defenders to fake out on him. Council back to Yabu, who's over at the foul line. He gives it back to Council. Wide open for three. Could not get it. Rebound. That's intercepted by Justin Edwards. Well, it was Williams who had the rebound, and he threw it away. Edwards was there. He finds Oubre slashing to the rim and puts it back up and in. Tie game, 24 seconds to go. 5 seconds differentiated in the shot clock from the game clock. Watford again over at the top of the key, being heavily guarded by Kelly Oubre Jr. Oubre tried to reach on in. Watford wants to get going. He's at the foul line. He goes up with a floater and connects. 9.9 seconds to go, and the shot clock is now unplugged. Brooklyn gets the lead back. A lot of lead changes in this game so far in just the first quarter alone. 29-27. Yabusele will inbound it over to Doughton Jr. 8 seconds to go. He's not even past the foul line yet. Now he gets past half court. 4 seconds to go. Yabusele with a screen. Doughton dribbles over towards the right side. Three-point shot is up, and in and out it goes, and that's going to wrap up the first quarter. Sixers lose the first quarter by a score of 29-27, and we go into quarter number 2. The first quarter was a very good shooting clinic for the Brooklyn Nets so far, and the Sixers look to try to respond in the second quarter when they return to action. Okay. I was looking for something else to say, but the points weren't up there. So D'Angelo Russell has led the way with 14 points, and he's 6 for 7 shooting-wise from the field in this game. In just 8 minutes, man. But Quentin Grimes with 9 points. He had 7 straight points for the Sixers, which was kind of nice to see. And they will be back in just a little bit. We need 17 more subscribers for us to get to 4,800. Let us know any critiques on the play-by-play. Always looking for fair critiques. If you guys enjoyed this, please let us know down below and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. We want to make everybody feel comfortable on the stream, and we appreciate each and every one of you for being on here, as my friend Lomball McLovin would say. I'm taking a look at the out-of-town scores right now. Let's do that. The Sixers, as we mentioned, are down by 2. The Celtics are winning against the Spurs 66-47 at halftime. Tatum has 21 points and 8 rebounds. Victor Wembanyama leads the way for the Spurs with just 10 points. The Hornets lead it by 2 in Orlando. It's 46-44 at the half. And the Wizards are actually up by a baker's dozen against the Pacers at halftime too. It's 60-47. The Knicks and the Hawks playing against each other. The Knicks are playing at Madison Square Garden. Brunson already 14 points as the first quarter comes to an end, and they lead at 36-29. And then the Cavaliers have put up 41 points in the first quarter, just ended. And they're out in Toronto playing the Raptors. That's who the Sixers lost to last night, with no R.J. Barrett and no Brandon Ingram. RJ is back in this game. 41-17 is the score there. Yes, sir. I have to reset again. A lot of lag. No worries, man. 19 concurrent viewers. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel as well. 29-27, Sixers down by 2. And the Sixers will get the inbound as they lost the tip-off. So out there is Jared Butler as the Sixers go from left to right. He'll dump it off to Yabusele, who's in between the circles. Grimes on a drive to the basket, and he's fouled. So it was Yabusele who was over at the foul line extended. He tried to do a skip pass over to Quentin Grimes. It was on the far corner and wanted to drive it in towards the baseline. Nobody was covering him. And then it was Watford, I think, who fouled Quentin Grimes right at the rim. It was. First foul shot by Grimes. He can't get it as it hits the back iron. Money line now for the Sixers is at -105, and for the Nets it's at -115. First free throw, no good. Second foul shot, he got it to go.
Excellent.
1-point deficit for the Sixers. Lineup out there for the Nets: Williams, Watford, Baumholtz, Sharp, and Martin. Here we go. Here's a shot, a little turnaround shot that goes up and goes in and out. And the rebound goes to Deron Sharp. He's in the dunker spot. Nobody covers him, and he throws it down with two hands. 3-point lead for the Nets. Grimes over on the outside. Dumps it off to Yabusele. A kick out to Oubre at the top of the key. He's being heavily blitzed, and we have a whistle called against Brooklyn. It was a 3-second violation called on Trendon Watford. So that is equivalent, of course, to a technical foul. And the Sixers will send Jared Butler to the line to make the technical free throw. He puts it up and cashes it in.
Excellent.
And the Sixers will, of course, get the basketball back. Got to see Deron Sharp when he was in the G League for the Long Island Nets. That was when they had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. It was that same year, so I got to see him and Cam Thomas. And now, of course, they're at the big league level. It's pretty cool. Butler gets the inbound pass, wants to try to go up with a shot. Got it actually deflected off of the center, Deron Sharp. He lost his dribble, got it back, turned around, tried to hit a two, and Sharp comes up with his miss. Watford zigzagging towards the lane. Count the bucket and a foul as Butler made some contact with Zaire Williams. And the and-one opportunity coming up in just a few moments. How about that outlet pass from D'Angelo Russell out in transition right over to Zaire Williams, who was just leaning one way and then leaned the other way as he was going down the lane and got right past Butler, and all Butler could do was foul him. Williams for the and-one. He knocks it down as it hits the front of the rim and dances on in. Got the little friendly trickle and a 5-point lead for Brooklyn. We've played just about close to a minute and a half in this second quarter, and another foul is called right at half court. Where are you guys tuning in from? Let us know down below. How did you get into basketball? I want to hear your stories. Yabusele will get the inbound pass from the Sixers. It was from Jared Butler. Oubre over to Yabusele, who wants to back down his defender and try to post him up here. Who wins this battle? Yabusele with a runner. No. He tried to turn over towards his left, and then he couldn't get there, and then he tried to turn over towards his right, and as he shot it, he airballed it. Russell for three. Blocked by Grimes, but the rebound belongs to the Nets, and Deron Sharp got it in the dunker spot, and he laid it up and laid it in. So 6 offensive boards for the Nets. That's been the Achilles heel for the Sixers. Grimes loses the ball again. Lost it on his own foot. Russell comes away with the steal. And he'll get it back over on the far wing. And the Nets, as they go from right to left in their black and white jerseys. They have a little bit of gray, too, on the top and on the bottom. There's Russell, who will hand it off over to Watford, who tries to put up a two, can't get it. Scrappy basketball, and who's going to come up with it? Finally, the Sixers do. Butler, out in transition, puts up a layup, and scoops and scores on the right side of the baseline. The finger roll finish by Jared Butler, and it's back to a 5-point deficit in Brooklyn. Watford with a dump-off pass to D'Angelo Russell, who's at the top of the key, now goes over towards the far elbow, goes up with a shot. He's fouled by Gershon Yabusele in the act of shooting. He did not make the two, and therefore 2 free throws are going to be rewarded to him. I want to go back to Butler's little layup. Again, just got Trenton, or who's that, Trayvon Martin? That's, Tyrese Martin over on skates when it came to playing defense. Yabusele is going to come on out. That was just his first personal foul. 3 points for him today. And Paul George will check back in for Ricky Council the fourth. And Andre Drummond will come on and replace Gershon Yabusele. First foul shot, got it. Claxton will also replace Deron Sharp. Nick Claxton's been a very good rebounder. Already 4 points and 4 rebounds in this game alone for the 25-year-old Georgia Bulldog. The second foul shot by Russell, can't get it. So he goes 1 for 2, that trip at the line. Sixers down by 6 points. Butler in between the circles throws it over to Oubre as he bowled it right over to him, and Oubre throws it down with 2 hands. Butler literally bowled it over to him because nobody was guarding him, and he had nobody was guarding Oubre, and he had 3 defenders on him, and, well, he was able to get it to go. Russell with a pass to Watford for 3. Off the mark, another offensive rebound by the Nets. And Russell will reset it. He tries to go down over towards the baseline. Williams with a tray on the near corner. Count it. 40 points for the Nets and just 33 for the 76ers. Zaire Williams with his second three-pointer today. Butler goes inside, and a foul is called on the Nets. So Zaire Williams able to cash in a near corner 3, and it's just because the Sixers are giving up so many offensive rebounds in this game in particular. They just continue to struggle with that. Already 8 offensive boards for the Nets. They're out-rebounding the Sixers 16-11. First free throw is good by Jared Butler. The shooting foul was called on Tyrese Martin, and that was just his first personal foul. Second free throw, Butler puts it in and out, and Drummond tried to tip it back up and in, couldn't get it. He wanted a foul call. It could have been a loose ball foul. And we have another whistle called. The refs want to try to get in there as much as possible. So Drummond tried to rebound it and tried to tip it up and in. The Nets were able to get the rebound. And then it was D'Angelo Russell who got the outlet pass. And Drummond, I think, pushed Claxton just ever so slightly. Both teams with 3 fouls in this second quarter, and we're not even 4 minutes into action in this quarter alone. Russell gets a screen set by Claxton, decides to throw it up over to a 3-point shooter by Keon Johnson, could not get it, and the Sixers come away with the rebound. Oubre with the pass down low over to Drummond. Drummond tries to save it from going out of bounds. He does. He kicks it out over to Jared Butler. Handoff over to Grimes for a far corner 3. Can't get it. And another rebound by Cam Johnson. So the 17th rebound of the ball game goes to Brooklyn. That's their 17th, I should have said. Johnson with a tray. Count it. Cam Johnson with a line drive 3. And Kelly Oubre Jr. literally just got away with one. That could have been an and-one opportunity. Drummond swings it outside to George. George thought about taking the three-pointer, decided to be non-selfish, finds Jared Butler, who goes up with a shot, rejected by Cameron Johnson. And here comes D'Angelo Russell on the fast break. Johnson with a kick out to a wide-open three-point shooter, and that's no good. Keon Johnson missed it way off the mark. Grimes gets the outlet pass over on the near side of at the Stern and Cohen sign. Grimes tries to get the rebound and go up with his own shot. Can't get it. Not once, not twice. And it's rebounded finally by Brooklyn as they put an end to that little offensive, whatever you call that, possession that the Sixers ran. Timeout called by Brooklyn. And we will be right back in just a few moments. I'm going to take a very, very quick step off. I mean, it's so hard for me to believe this. First and foremost, thank you all so much for being on here. The name is Jason Joseph. This is Play by Play with JJ. Sorry, I just took off the hat. Probably should put it back on. But we go live for Sixers basketball, Phillies baseball, and for Eagles football. Paul George in this game without Tyrese Maxey and without Joel Embiid has only put up 2 field goal attempts. And they were both threes. And we still have 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. He's played in 11 minutes tonight and just has 2 field goal attempts. You would think that just because Maxey and Embiid aren't out there, I mean, that's the guy that has to step up, right? He has to take more shot attempts. If he's not making the shots, that's one thing, but for him to only have 2 field goal attempts, come on. So the Sixers have only put up 7 points in this second quarter so far. And the Nets have outscored them 14-7 already. 34 points for the Sixers and 43 for the Nets. D'Angelo Russell has scored 15 of the 43 for Brooklyn, so just 2/3 of their points. And then you got Deron Sharp and Zaire Williams, who each have 6 points for the Nets in second place. The Sixers, they got Kelly Oubre and Quentin Grimes with 10 points each. Other than that, though, not a lot of offense. So the Sixers got to play defense. Less than 7 minutes to go. Russell thinking 3. And instead, he'll just pass it over to Cam Johnson. Johnson tries to get Quentin Grimes on a pump fake, and he passes it back out over towards the near side to Claxton with a turnaround J, and Jeff Doughton Jr. catches the rebound. Doughton over at the top of the key will bounce it over to Paul George. George takes a couple of jab steps. He's now double-teamed. He has to throw it over to Oubre. It goes over his head, and it's stolen by the Nets, but the ball does indeed go out of bounds. They will actually call, though, a personal foul on Oubre. So George throws it away as he was blitzed and had 2 defenders on him, including D'Angelo Russell and also Keon Johnson. Then he threw it over Kelly Oubre Jr.'s head. And Oubre gets called for his second personal. Justin Edwards will come on in for Quentin Grimes. As Grimes will finally take a seat. Russell backs up over towards the logo as they go from left to right. Russell at the baseline gets the ball stripped by Edwards, stolen by Paul George. George to Oubre. One more to Edwards for a catch-and-shoot 3. Off the mark. And another rebound by Brooklyn. So Edwards had the form, just couldn't knock it down. Here's another 3 by Russell. No. Rebound by Edwards at the Nets foul line. Edwards out in transition, finds George for a 3, and that one's short. And again, nobody is there for the Sixers to grab a rebound. There were 3 Nets players, and that was it. They got to get in the box, down low. Drummond stops an alley-oop pass from coming, but there's a personal foul called on Paul George with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the second quarter. If you guys enjoyed my content, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on those notification bell icons as well. There's Tyrese Maxey over on the sidelines talking with Kyle Lowry. And Maxey and Lowry are both not available for tonight's game. The foul shot coming up is good for Trendon Watford. Paul George for the Sixers has missed 19 games. Tyrese Maxey has missed 8. Embiid has missed 37. And they're 7-6 when the big 3 has played together. That's just 13 games. Free throw number 2 is good. And Jalen Wilson and Trendon Watford are going to sub in for Russell and Williams. 11-point lead for the Brooklyn Nets. Sure, you guys let us know where you're tuning in from. Andre Drummond, Gets it down low as he tries to go up with a little layup, and he got it over Nick Claxton. Claxton could not stop him. Andre Drummond was a ball handler, and he just took it right over to the layup line and was able to make it with ease. 45-36. Johnson with a floater. Puts it up. Can't get it. Andre Drummond crashing the glass. Outlet pass to Doughton Jr. Sixers lineup. It's George, Oubre, Edwards, Drummond, and Doughton. Drummond playing hot potato. Finds Justin Edwards. Edwards with a slam as he heads down low and goes into flight mode and gets the Sixers bench active and chirping. Look out below for Justin Edwards. He can fly. 4.5 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Watford zigzagging into the lane, kicks it out, and finds Johnson on the perimeter, and a foul, not in the act of shooting, called on Justin Edwards. Okay. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. How about Justin Edwards just going up in the air and just throwing it down like he's Michael Jordan? That's how high he got up there. Four minutes and 31 seconds to go in the second quarter. First free throw, good by Brooklyn. Cam Johnson at the line for one more. And here comes the second foul shot, and it's no good. Sixers do get a rebound. It's Andre Drummond on the glass. 6 rebounds for Drummond. It's a lot for him this season. 4 points and 1 assist as well. Edwards is blitzed at the top of the key, dribbles with the left hand, takes it over towards the left elbow, puts up a 2, and he gets the friendly roll. It hit the back iron, then went over towards the left side of the rim and just hauled in at the very last second. 46-40. Sixers got to play defense as Claxton will dump it off, and he finds Keon Johnson, who goes down the lane with ease as he parts the Red Sea, and he throws down the left-handed sledgehammer. George swings at the Drummond. A catch-and-shoot 3 by Andre Drummond, and it's short. It was a pretty good form, too, by Drummond, but a rebound by Cameron Johnson. 48-40. George trying to play defense on Cam Johnson. Johnson trying to have his way, and he does. Johnson kissed it right off the window. He had an awkward angle on the baseline and still makes it a 10-point lead for Brooklyn. They've scored 4 straight points, and we have a timeout called by Nurse with 3:13 remaining in quarter number 2. Andre Drummond trying to go up with a 3. That's crazy. That is wild. We got 13 concurrent viewers. Again, make sure you guys like and subscribe and turn on the bell icons, and that way you'll know when we go live for Sixers basketball, Phillies baseball, and Eagles football. Bucks have a 25-17 lead out in Minnesota. Kai Carlin just said Cam Johnson finishes a layup and the Nets extend their lead to 50-40. Bad shot by Andre Drummond to launch a triple with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. Before that Johnson layup. Both teams have 6 turnovers. But the Nets have scored 26 of their 50 points in the paint. Sixers have only put up 20 points in the paint. Really, 20 is a lot, but they're 3 for 15 from 3. And the Nets are 5 for 14. Again, what are we seeing tonight? A lot of dump-off passes. Not a lot of creativity on offense. And we're not going for rebounds. So, looks like both the Sixers and the Raptors got tired last night, says Jen Will. The Sixers, are they tired? Maybe. Not an excuse. That was the first timeout that Nick Nurse did use, by the way. Just want to make sure that I put that up there. And again, if you guys do enjoy this, please make sure that you spread the word and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well. The only thing I like tonight is Quentin Grimes and Justin Edwards are playing really hard. George swings it down low to Adem Bona, and he throws it over to Grimes. Grimes somehow gets it over to Oubre, and he puts up a 2, and he can't get it. That was Jared Butler, who got it over on the far corner, tried to bounce it, and it went into Cam Johnson's hands. He was right there, and then it just went off of his hands into the hands of Oubre. And then Johnson got the board. There is a foul called over on the other side by the Sixers. And it looks like the Nets are in the bonus. Nothing seems to be going right for the Philadelphia 76ers. And you wonder when they're going to snap out of it. First free throw, too strong by Nick Claxton. We mentioned before that they lost to the Raptors, they lost to the Bucks, the Pistons, and the Heat. Only won 1 out of their last 7 games. Second free throw, up and in to make it 51-40. Sixers haven't scored a bucket in a while. Butler down low to Oubre, and he puts an end to the madness as Oubre punches it down the drain. All right, 9-point lead for Brooklyn with 2:20 to go in the second quarter. Johnson wide open on the three-point line, but decides to take it over towards the elbow, dumps it back off over to Watford, and the layup is too easy. He had a lot of breathing room, and Adem Bona was trailing right behind him. Sixers just jogging down the court. There were 4 guys that are there just jogging, and Edwards was the first one back on offense. Butler will try to put it up and in, but there is a foul called in the act of shooting on Cam Johnson. And Oubre did a nice job just getting it in the dunker spot. And it was a good feed by Jared Butler. That's his 4th assist today. 4 points for him. And Butler at the charity stripe. First free throw. Swishes. 6 feet 3 inches tall. He'll be 25 in August. Weighs 193 pounds. Was the 40th pick by the New Orleans Pelicans back in the 2021 NBA draft. Quentin Grimes will step on in for Kelly Oubre Jr. in the second free throw by Butler. He got it to go. Excellent. 9-point game. Cam Johnson for a wide open 3. No. Quentin Grimes rebound. Outlet pass to Justin Edwards. Edwards, what's he going to do? He throws it over to Grimes, or to George, that is. George to Grimes. Back to Edwards for 3. And Justin Edwards can't get it over on the far corner. It was a good try. Watford with the rebound. Claxton tries to drive it inside. It's stolen by Adem Bona. Butler will try to take it himself. Nice pass to Justin Edwards, who was right by him, and Edwards lays it up and in. How about that pass by Jared Butler? He had Justin Edwards on his left side and didn't even have to look. Some snake eyes action. Watford outside to Cam Johnson on the perimeter. And he gives it back over to Wilson, and Wilson tried to find Cam Johnson cutting over towards the lane, and he lost the ball, and it goes out of bounds. Sixers, again, will get the ball back. Perfect timing again on that pass from Jared Butler to Justin Edwards. Butler again drives it down low, looks to try to kick it out to Edwards, and they were not on the same page, and it's intercepted instead by Cam Johnson. Johnson over towards the logo, gets a little bit of some breathing room from Justin Edwards, and he puts up a layup. Shot rejected by Adembona. George to Jared. One more to Grimes. A tray. Yes, sir! Grimes with a dime from 3 on the far corner. And about 2 seconds differentiating the shot clock from the game clock. Nets have Johnson, Claxton, Keon Johnson, Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, Trent Watford, and Wilson out there. Here's another 3 by Brooklyn. That's no good. Rebound by Grimes. Half-court shot is up, and he almost got it to go at the buzzer. That was so close. And we go into halftime. Philadelphia down by 4 points. And it feels like they should be down by a lot more, but regardless, it's 53-49 as we go into halftime in this game. Weren't they down 53-49 last night in halftime? I have to double check that. Weren't they? What was the score in halftime for last night's game? Wasn't it the same thing? No. They were down 50. They were actually up by 2. It was 52-50. But I could have sworn that they were down. Maybe it was the game before. No. It was not. I don't know. Maybe it's just deja vu. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. 50-49. That's weird. All right, I'm going to take a very quick step off. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're all doing well and having yourselves a very fantastic day. Sixers currently trail to the Brooklyn Nets by a score of 53-49 as they are in halftime right now as we speak. Leading the way for the Philadelphia 76ers, you got Quentin Grimes with 13 points. He had like 7 straight points in the first quarter. Then started to get a little bit cold. Kelly Oubre Jr. has 12. Edwards off the bench has 9 points, and he's 4 for 6 shooting-wise today, and 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. Yeah. Let's discuss this. The Sixers, the disappointing thing is that Paul George has played in 18 minutes and has 3 field goal attempts. That's unacceptable. That's not allowed, and he should not be doing that, man. If he's not making his shots, that's one thing, but 3 field goal attempts is inexcusable, and it's putrid. This is what Tobias Harris would do when he was with the Philadelphia 76ers last year. And Paul George, it seems, with the way that things have gone, he has really just been very timid. He's been shy. I know that he's been dealing with an injury on that pinky, on his non-shooting hand, but for him to only have 3 field goal attempts, and they're all from 3-point range, that says a lot as to how timid and how afraid he is to just shoot the ball. That's what it seems, for sure. Yabusele with just 3 points in 11 minutes. He's 1 for 2 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3. You'd like to try to see him get going a little bit more in the second half. Andre Drummond, 4.6 rebounds. He's been active, but he's been a -5 so far in this game. Adem Bona has given them some really good minutes. 3 minutes for him, +6, 1 block, 1 rebound. Again, you just got to keep playing him. And Council comes on in for 4 minutes, and it's just 0 for 1 from 3. But yeah, I just... They can't get any sort of chemistry because they have a different lineup out there every single night. You saw the stats earlier coming into the game, how they've had 33 different lineups this season. 33 different lineups, and we played in 53 games. This is our 54th game. It is absolutely wild how much our lineups continue to change on an everyday basis, and we can't get any sort of consistency. But Paul George needs to step up. He has to step up. 1 block, 1 steal. Playing good on the defensive side. He is. But he's not shooting. That's why we got him, man. This year, Paul George is averaging 16.6 points per game. Last year, he was averaging 22.6. Year before that, 23.8. Year before that, 24.3. Again, if he's not healthy, why is he playing? Why? Over his last 10 games, he's averaging 11.5 points per game in 28 minutes on average. That's bad. That's really bad. We're getting out-rebounded again. No surprise. 25 rebounds for the Nets. 21 for the Sixers. Part of it is because of effort. The other part of it is roster construction. Daryl Morey thought it would be a great idea to just get as many old guys as they possibly could. And he thought that getting 35-year-old Kyle Lowry, 34-year-old Eric Gordon, 35-year-old Reggie Jackson was smart. Thought it was smart. How would you grade that first half? I'm going to go with a D. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to say D plus for that first half effort by the Sixers. What are they going to have to do if they want to get an A? Paul George needs to step up. If they want to give me an A, or if they want to get an A, they're going to have to put up 40 points in the third quarter and only give up something like 16. They got to come firing out of the gates. They need to outscore the Nets 70-40 in the second half if they want to get an A for that half. And Paul George needs to step up. He needs to take shots. He could go 0 for 12 from the field. I don't care. In the next quarter. He needs to shoot. He has to shoot. That's unacceptable. Flat out unacceptable when you're only putting up 3 shot attempts. That's what Ben Simmons would have done when he was on our team. That's what Tobias Harris did. You're better than that, Paul. I know that. You were averaging 24 points per game last year and pretty close to that throughout your entire career. And all of a sudden, in 1 year, it dips down to 16 points per game. That's -8. Again, if you don't want to play, don't play. If you don't want to be out there, don't be out there. I'm tired of the excuses. So tired of the excuses. D'Angelo Russell went off in that first quarter, and then they blanked him in the second. Thought that was interesting. 15 points in 13 minutes. Claxton has 6 rebounds. Cam Johnson has 5 rebounds. Deron Sharp has 4 rebounds. Our leading rebounder is Andre Drummond, and he has 6. The next guy who has the most rebounds for us is 3. And that's Quentin Grimes and Kelly Oubre Jr. The fact that Kelly Oubre and Quentin Grimes each have more rebounds than Paul George and Gershon Yabusele is flat out atrocious too. Yabu only has 2. Inexcusable. Reggie was bad. Yeah. What are they going to have to do for you in order for them to get an A+ in the second half? I'd say that they got to put up 70 points. And they got to outscore the Nets something like 70-40. But that's me. I just can't believe that he only has 3 field goal attempts. Did you expect this from Paul George when he came over to the Sixers, that he would be putting up these types of numbers? And he wouldn't be shooting the ball that much and he'd be so passive? I'll be honest with you. I did. I wanted Paul George. I said that I would take Paul George, but I didn't want to pay all that money. I knew you were going to have to for a third option. But boy, he just does not look like he's having fun. He's not going out there and he's not being assertive. And it's a shame. He's had a very good career. He took the money. always remember what he did for the Pacers, and I'll always be happy with. I remember watching him when he was on Indiana. I always thought he was explosive. Then he goes to the Clippers, and they have problems. He can't stay healthy. And then whenever he does play, he just never really showed up, except in the fourth quarter. Now he's not even showing up at all in these games. And if the pinky's bothering him again, just don't play. You're hurting this team. You're hurting them, man. Let's go to our live stream setup. Again, don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? What are your thoughts on Paul George? Were you looking forward to Paul George coming to Philadelphia when the Sixers had a chance to get him? We were never going to get KD. I wanted him. I figured maybe there was a chance. We were never going to get Kevin Durant. It's a shame, though, that we couldn't get rid of Paul George at the deadline. Sixers will start off the third quarter with the basketball. Here we go. Yabusele looking to dump it off over to Paul George. George goes down the lane, kicks it out to Oubre. One more for a three-pointer by Butler. No. And George just stands there, doesn't even leap up for the rebound, and Brooklyn has it. Here's another wide-open three-pointer, and that's no good either. Quentin Grimes is the one who grabs the board. Grimes with a lob pass down low to Yabusele, and Yabusele lays it up and lays it in. Yeah. What were your thoughts on Paul George, man? We got 19 people on here. I really think he just wanted the money, says Neil. Going to be a very interesting offseason, JJ. Yeah, he clearly wanted the money. A no-look pass from Cam Johnson over to Watford for a three. Can't get it, though, on the near corner. Rebound by the Sixers. Grimes lost the ball. Gets his dribble back, though. George with a kick out to Yabusele. A near corner three. And Yabu can't hit it. Just a little bit off. Sixers have only made 4 threes today, and they have put up 20 attempts. 53-51, Brooklyn has a 2-point lead. Here's Russell for a three. No, Claxton with nobody on him as he lays it back up and dunks it down. Nobody's playing in the box. Nobody's out rebounding. Nobody's getting the rebounds. It's just everybody's spreading out and just watching these boards go left and right. There was no rebounder there for Paul George, but thank goodness he made that shot. He did. He finally got his first 2 points of the day. Here's Russell again on an alley-oop pass that was supposed to go over to Nick Claxton. The ball gets battered around, and it goes out of bounds. Sixers ball. Scott says, I really didn't want him, and now I think we are stuck like Chuck with him, and we can't trade him. It's a shame, man. George over on the far side, steps back, lets it fly for a three, and PG can't get it to go. He's 0 for 4 from three-point range. Russell rebound. Johnson on the drive, gets past Paul George, and he throws it down with 2 hands. Not good defense at all by PG. And it's back to a 4-point deficit for the Sixers. Butler will try to throw down an alley-oop pass over to Oubre, and he does. Kelly Oubre Jr. caught it with 2 hands and was able to dunk it in the dunker spot, and a timeout taken by Brooklyn. So the Sixers have put up 6 points in this third quarter so far, just with about 2.5 minutes of play into this second half. And a timeout is taken by Brooklyn. They only have 3 timeouts left. That's it. Yeah, I think that he just took the money too, man. Clearly, that's what he did. He's just jogging up and down the court. I remember we had like Seth Joyner. I'll never forget like reading the Philadelphia Eagles textbook that we had a couple of years ago. Seth Joyner was very sick before one of the games, and I think he had like 6 sacks or something, or like 5 sacks himself during that game, and he was like really, really sick. I'm not saying that Paul George needs to put up like 37 points a game. Not saying that at all. But even when you're not feeling your best, you got to fight through the adversity. And I just don't see any sort of fight with him. And if he's not going to fight, why is he out there? He's a minus. Team management in 101. Never sign a player over 35 to a contract of more than 1 year, no matter how good they were before. Unless if you're one person, or 2 people actually. Maybe 3. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James. But even LeBron, I don't know if LeBron deserves a max deal. LeBron, even at the age of 40, is still very impactful. Don't get me wrong. I will take LeBron over Paul George, though. Easily, any day. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and LeBron James are the only guys that are above 35 that you could pay that type of money to. That's it. Nobody else. Not even Kawhi. Kawhi can't stay healthy anymore. 57-55. Brooklyn has a 2-point lead. Russell tries to swing it out over to Johnson, and it gets deflected off of Quentin Grimes' hands, but Johnson does get it back into the front court. Grimes strips it, and he steals it from him like he stole his lunch money. He'll hand it off to Yabusele, and now Butler gets it on the perimeter as the Sixers go from right to left, and Butler throws it away, intercepted by Brooklyn. Russell tries to go down the lane, gets it blocked by Paul George, and George comes away with the steal. George to Butler. Butler had all the time to try to shoot a three-pointer, decided not to, and dumps it off instead to Grimes for a 3. Quentin Grimes knocks it down from the far wing. Okay, but still, you don't know why they want to leave. You don't know their mental state. That's true. No, I agree with you. I agree. The bottom line is that there's only a minimum amount of guys that you could pay that contract to. But those are outliers. Those are outliers. And there's not a lot of outliers. George gets the rebound off of the missed three-pointer by Johnson. And he's back at the top of the perimeter. Wants to swing it outside to Yabusele for a catch-and-shoot 3. And Yabu can't get it. The basketball god said no. Brooklyn trying to get back out in front. D'Angelo Russell leads the charge. And he crosses over 2 times over Paul George. Now it's Butler who has him. And Russell's step back fadeaway 2 gets it right at the foul line. 59 points for the Brooklyn Nets and just 58 for the Philadelphia 76ers. Grimes dumps it off to Yabusele. And now George wants to get it. George is double-teamed, and he throws it away. He threw it away over to Watford. Here's Jair Williams on the near wing. And a dump-off pass to D'Angelo Russell in between the circles. Williams will get it back. He'll drive it inside and gets past Grimes and lays it in. 61 points for the Nets. And Jair Williams trying to get some action out there. Grimes to Yabusele down low in the dunker spot, and Yabusele throws it away. He tried to give it up to Jared Butler on the near wing, and it was a bad read all over. Johnson cuts right by Paul George, and he throws it down with two hands, and the Nets are on a little run themselves as they're getting fired up, and Nick Nurse calls a timeout. Okay, and the Sixers will be right back in just a little bit. Man. If you're still rocking with me, comment down below. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. We got Jane, we got Neil, we got who else? Scott. We got Izzy. I think Izzy's still here. Is Mark still here? Is Mark still here? Or sorry, Michael? Is Michael still here? Michael, if you're still here, comment down below. I want to know if you think I'm doing a good job or not. Only got one person tuning into the vertical. That's fine. Five times in 3 days. I don't know what that means. No words, says RB. Yeah. I don't even know if I should do a post-game show tonight, to be honest with you. Gotta get up early tomorrow. Thank you all so much for being on here, man. Means a lot to me. Love the Beatles. Any requests? Requests for what? Requests for what? Yabusele's going to come on out, and Adem Bona will come on in for him. Oubre will also take a seat. Trendon Watford will replace D'Angelo Russell. Beatles requests. Obladi, oblada, life goes on. Life goes on. Yeah, I love the Beatles. Grimes dumps it off over to Justin Edwards. Grimes will get it back at the top of the perimeter. And he'll just give it back over to Jared Butler. Here's George at the top of the key. Paul George steps back, crosses over. Three-pointer by PG. No good. And another rebound by Brooklyn. And Claxton does a good job at boxing out Adem Bona. Cam Johnson looking to try to get it at the top of the key, and he finally does. His defender, Justin Edwards. Screen comes, and a three by Cam Johnson. No good. George, outlet pass to Grimes. And the ball gets thrown over to Butler, but it's tipped, and it goes out of bounds. Yes, sir. How their life goes on. Octopus's Garden is one of my favorites. A Day in the Life is a good one, too. I love a lot of the Beatles, man. Doughton Jr. with a drop-off dime to Grimes, and the layup is no good. Adem Bona on the follow-through, though. Can't get it up and in. And finally, Jalen Wilson crashes the glass. Let the young guy shine. I am with you, man. George trying to defend Cam Johnson. Watford for 2. He got it. Trendon Watford with another floater. Give him 8 points for the Brooklyn Nets. Doughton gets tripped up over at the top of the key. Bounces it inside to Edwards for a foul line J, and Justin Edwards connects and gets the 2 to go. 5-point deficit with less than 5 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Johnson at the top of the perimeter wants to try to get by Jeff Doughton Jr. as he goes over towards the baseline. Then a foul was called. No foul was called, excuse me. Thought maybe they did call a foul. Refs decided to chew the whistle. Here's a little three-point shot that's no good, and Quentin Grimes finally there to get the rebound. Outlet pass over to Justin Edwards, who drives downhill, gets it rejected, comes back up with it, goes up with another shot, rejected again by Claxton. So 2 rejections in a row. George trying to play defense on the fast break, and the layup is good. 67-60. Nick Claxton being a wall on Justin Edwards. Still want to try to continue to go up with those shots, though. Grimes will try to dump it off to Edwards. One more to Doughton, and they have been rotating very well, the Nets. The Sixers just cannot get the shots off that they would like to. Bona gets out-rebounded by Nick Claxton. That's now 9 rebounds for him. George trying to block the shot. The first time he got it. The second time he got it again. But the third time, it's Claxton who wins. He has just had a heyday down low in the post. It's been lunch money, man. It's been meat and potatoes for him. And we have a foul called on Wilson. I mean, he's just owned those matchups. Nick Claxton making a huge impact on defense, and finally he's out of the game, and Day'Ron Sharpe will come back in. Maybe the Sixers can go on a run here. It's just incredible with how much of a presence he's been able to make. 3 blocks by Claxton, 11 rebounds. He's 11-11. Bona over at the nail. Dump off pass to Doughton Jr., and it's stolen again. He did not anticipate the pass coming. Watford got the steal. Watford gets it down low. Baby hook, no good. And Doughton Jr. comes away with the rebound. They are just out-hustling the Sixers again. Doughton will dump it off over to Paul George, and George does get fouled by Trendon Watford. No hustle. No heart, man. None. The roster's just not good enough either, man. 36 rebounds for the Nets and 30 for the Sixers. The Nets have stolen the ball 10 times. Sixers have had 11 turnovers. Nets have had 9. Doughton will get the inbound pass again. The screen comes from Adem Bona, and Doughton gets it back over at the foul line. A dump-off pass to Adem Bona, who goes up for a 2, and finally lays it up and in with the reverse layup. He got the little soft touch, and it's a 7-point deficit for the Sixers. Watford gets tries to go down low, and we have another whistle called as the Sixers will get the ball back. They called an offensive foul on Day'Ron Sharpe. Bona was getting out-physicaled by Nick Claxton. Now Paul George will head on over to the sideline, and Grimes will step back in for PG. Doughton gets the ball knocked loose, but he still retains his dribble. Grimes at the top of the key. We'll pass it back to Doughton. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Oubre on the far wing, trying to fizzle past 2 defenders, and a foul is called on Brooklyn with 3.8 seconds left on the shot clock and 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Not even at the 2-hour mark yet, folks. We're not even at the 2-hour mark yet. It's been a long game between the both of these teams. We have 2 free throws coming on up for Oubre, and he does cash in the first one. Kelly today from the foul line, 4 for 4 with 14 points and 3 rebounds. So he makes the first free throw. Second free throw by K9. Here it is. It's up and good.
Excellent.
Breaking news that Nick Pivetta, former Philly, and the San Diego Padres are in agreement on a 4-year, $55 million contract that includes a pair of opt-outs and a pending physical. Here's a shot that goes up and in by D'Angelo Russell, and he makes the two-pointer, 71-64. So Pivetta signs a 4-year. That's what they're saying. Jeff Passan is ready to sign a 4-year, $55 million deal with the San Diego Padres. Edwards tries to go down low. He lost the ball, but thank goodness it was last touched by Russell. And the Sixers will still inbound it with about 2.3 seconds to go on the shot clock. So Doughton Jr. will be the one to inbound it here. And the Sixers will give it up over to Oubre. The shot goes up, and that's no good. Rebound by the Nets. 71-64. Dembona tries to play defense along with Jeff Doughton Jr., and we have a jump ball called. 17 more subs for us to get to 4,800 subscribers. Thought they were going to signal for a jump ball. They did not, though. Watford for 2. Can't get it. And he grabs his own rebound. Dembona has to time that better. It was right in front of him, trying to play defense, too. There's a three-pointer that is no good. It hit the top of the backboard, but they still call it in play. Here's a three-pointer by Russell, and he gets it to go. It's 74-64. D'Angelo Russell continues to explode for the Brooklyn Nets. 58 seconds left in this third quarter as Oubre gets the dump-off pass. He's at the top of the key, crosses over a couple of times, spins, turns, wants to go for a 2. No foul was called, and another rebound by Brooklyn. They have just been catching all the rebounds, like in that one game of Toontown where you're playing the catching game and the Sixers are catching the anvils, and well, the Nets are catching all the fruits out there. They're getting all the goods. D'Angelo Russell on the near side again. Gets it and throws it. And no foul was called, but a floater is up by Tassan Ebouamwan, and he got it. Only 15 points for the Sixers in the third quarter and 23 for the Brooklyn Nets, and there's a foul called against Brooklyn. Just absolutely wild. You know? It's crazy how we got to this point. What's up, Midnight Owl? JJ, you ready for baseball? No. Not yet. Not yet. Give me until March, and I'll say that I'm ready. I mean, the Sixers are sort of speeding that process up, but I'm not ready yet. Am I looking forward to it? Absolutely. But I don't know. That's where I am right now. I'm excited for it. I can just wait a little bit longer, though. George to Doughton Jr. for a wide-open 3. Way too strong. Grimes, offensive rebound, puts it back up and in with 1.4 seconds left to go. Here's a half-court shot, and that's going to do it. So the Nets lead at 76-66 against the 76ers. As they go into the fourth quarter, 10-point deficit for Philadelphia. All right, it's time for trivia, man. I'm going to ask you a Sixers trivia question. If you get it right, you'll hear this. If you get it wrong, you'll hear this. Yesterday, we should have beaten the Nets. Today, not these Sixers. Yesterday, we should have beaten the Raptors. Today, not these Sixers. Yeah, I get what you're saying. All right. What team were the Philadelphia 76ers called before they were called the Philadelphia 76ers? 20 seconds. Let's go now. Okay. 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Liberty Bells. No, it was not the Liberty Bells. If you guys want one more answer, I will take one more answer. The Liberty Bells. What team were the Philadelphia 76ers called before they were called the Philadelphia 76ers? Is the question. Brain freeze, says Neil Cooper. That is incorrect. They were called the Syracuse Nationals. They were a part of the National Basketball League from 1946 to 1949. And then when the NBA came about, they were called the Syracuse Nationals from 43 to 63. So that was the team that they were called, the Syracuse Nationals. And then they became the Philadelphia 76ers in 1963. Their owner was Danny Biasone back in 1954. During the summer of 1954, according to Wikipedia, Biasone had gotten together some of his pros and a group of high school players and timed them with a stopwatch. Most shots were taken within 12 seconds, Biasone discovered. And he calculated that a 24-second shot clock would allow at least 30 shots per quarter and assist in increasing scoring. The result would speed up a game that often ended with long periods of teams just holding the ball. Can you imagine, you're playing a basketball game back in the 50s, and yet you have the ball for 5 minutes. You still have the ball, and you haven't even put up one shot. I think that that's crazy. I do. I think that that's absolutely wild. Brooklyn tries to go for a layup, and the foul is called on Oubre. Should have been the Ballers or the Liberties. Quickness and athletic ability became prized as they never had been before. Excessive fouling didn't disappear completely, but just about everyone concluded that the clock was good for the game. The shot clock was a success, with the result that scoring was up 14 points per game league-wide. And I wonder why adding a clock in baseball was beneficial. Same thing. Butler will try to pass it, but it gets intercepted by the Nets. That was a bad pass again by Jared Butler. Tyrese Martin got the steal. And Martin gets it intercepted from Justin Edwards. Edwards over to Butler downhill. And he gives it back outside for a wide open three by Justin Edwards. Can't get it. And Andre Drummond tips it back out to Edwards again. Good job by Drummond to just volleyball tip it outside to him. Edwards with a floater down the lane. Connects. A 10-point game with 10:55 to go in quarter number 4. Evan Blum with a three-pointer. Got it. Man. He has been able to knock down some threes tonight. 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Yabu dribbles it back out and finds Butler with an elbow J. And Jared Butler able to knock it down. 81-70. Sixers trying to cut it back into single digits. They have a lot of work to do. Oubre deflects it, and it's stolen by Yabusele, who falls out of bounds, but he threw it right back to Oubre before he touched ground. Drummond on the block, being guarded by Claxton. Drummond looking for some help. Everyone's just standing around, and he throws it over to Edwards. Everybody was just standing around, and finally Edwards was moving. Edwards gets his defender on a pump fake, tries to go for a 2, can't get it. Everybody's just standing there, and they're not moving. That's the issue, man. Everyone's just standing around. Watford for 2. Edwards comes away with his miss. Butler gets it out in transition. Butler now at the foul line, dribbles with the right hand, goes up with a shot. Another block by Nick Claxton, or Watford that was. Watford on an alley-oop jam, and he throws it down. Jeez. It's a dumpster fire, please. What's a dumpster fire? The pitch clock? I like the pitch clock. Yabusele will give it back over to Oubre. Are you talking about this team? Or both? Oubre throws it away again. Another bad pass. And it's Watford who gets it out in transition. Gets it down low on the block. And looks to dump it off over to Tovwam. And the ball gets stripped by Jared Butler as Deron Sharp tried to go up for a two-handed jam. And Butler gets it back for the Sixers with 8.5 minutes to go. Pick and roll action as Drummond tries to lay it up and in, and he can't even make the layup. Can't even make the layup. And the Sixers are down by 13 points. And a timeout called by Brooklyn. How does defender beat? How can you not make a layup? I think I'm in a fire sale. Can't even make a layup. 4 points in just 3.5 minutes. We got 21 concurrent viewers on here. Again, make sure you guys like and subscribe and turn on the bell icons. Got right past his defender. Could not even finish the layup. What are we doing? What are we doing, folks? Absolute disgrace. I thought embiid missing or not taking that 3 last night was bad. But now we can't even hit layups that are wide open. Make it make sense. Since the start of the second half, the Sixers appear lifeless on both ends, settling for ISOs and getting smoked in semi-transition, says Jacob Marino. Philadelphia is poised to lose its 5th consecutive game in an embarrassing effort. We had news today that Rob Thompson actually congratulated Nick Sirianni, but hasn't heard back from him yet because his inbox is full. Unbelievable. We can't even hit layups. In case you're wondering, the odds now for the Sixers. Let's see. What are the odds now? Plus 165. Grimes tonight has been playing pretty well. 18 points, 6 for 11 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. Everybody else, really bad. Edwards has played well. I'll give him that. 83 points for the Brooklyn Nets as they have it over at the top of the key. D'Angelo Russell throws it over to Watford, and he goes down low, and he lays it up and lays it in. It was Deron Sharp, actually. But Watford gave it back over to Deron Sharp. Here's George, who throws it, and it goes out of bounds over towards the near side. It was last touched, though, by a Brooklyn Nets player. 253 total views. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell icons too. George is looking to inbound it over to Adem Bona. Bona hands it off back over to PG. PG looks to bounce, pass it over to Justin Edwards, and Edwards throws it over to Oubre, and he lost it. Thank goodness it was last touched by the Nets as it goes out of bounds with 3.8 seconds left. Again, a lot of ISOs, not a lot of off-ball screens. Not a lot of off-ball movement, period. And that's why they're losing. Edwards dumps it off to Grimes. Grimes with an ISO 3. Got it to go. Quentin Grimes on the far corner, able to drill a contested 3. What a shot. Bullseye. 12-point deficit with 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Sharp dumps it back off over to D'Angelo Russell. And now a little dunk that goes up and in by Keon Johnson. Again, nobody could cover him down low. Not a lot of coverage out in the paint, and Paul George is the one who gets fouled. Yabu has been quiet tonight. He's been very quiet in this game. They're just hitting ISO shots, though. Like, it's not a good shot. And Grimes, I mean, yeah, like, it's great. But nobody's getting back on defense. And offensively, we just look so lifeless. There's another foul called on D'Angelo Russell, as Grimes ended up getting an elbow on him. Quentin Grimes is worth his money. He's been playing really well over these last 3 games, ever since the Sixers got him. Oubre gets it over at the top of the key. Looking for some help. Dumps it off over to Bona. Bona back to Grimes. Quentin Grimes looks to give it back over to Oubre. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Oubre on the drive to the basket. Lays it up and lays it home. All right, 12-point game. Brooklyn out in front with 6:45 to go. Sixers have a chance. They have 4 timeouts left, and the Nets have 2. D'Angelo Russell dumps it back over to Claxton. Russell again on the near elbow. Thinking about going up for a 2. It's rejected by George. And Grimes comes away with a steal. Nice defense by PG. George heading downhill. Kicks it out to Oubre for a wide open 3. Bang! And the Sixers cut it to single digits with 6:15 to go as Paul George gets the assist. That's his second one. Johnson at the top of the key. Deflected by Oubre. Stolen by Edwards. The Sixers out in transition. Edwards outside to Grimes. Grimes to Oubre down low. And the layup is good. 7-point game with 5:56 left to go in this contest right now. Let's go. All right. Nice play. Gotta get some energy in this chat, man. We need something. Nets have 1 timeout left. They have 1 timeout left with 5 minutes and 56 seconds in the fourth quarter. Well, they finally cut it back to a single-digit deficit. Defense is starting to play better. I just can't believe that we only put up 17 points in the third quarter. At this point, let's just try to get the win, though, man. Let's go out there and get a win. I forgot Lauren Rosen, who used to cover the Sixers, is now covering the LA Clippers. And so Ben Simmons is back. And she has to cover him. I think that's kind of funny. I think that's really funny, honestly. Pacers and Wizards are in overtime. It's 120-120 in that game. Sixers down 87-80 with less than 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Grimes has been electric for the Sixers, and Oubre starting to hit some shots too, and things seem to be going their way now. Can they keep it up, though? Brooklyn still has one timeout left, or only has one timeout left. The Sixers have 4. They have 4 timeouts to go. Get him, Franklin. Yes, sir. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, folks. Only 32 likes. We got 20 votes. All right, it's actually pretty good. Sixers got to play defense. Here we go. George defends Claxton. And now it's Wilson who has it. Wilson will swing it over to Claxton. Over at the elbow, Johnson cuts back door. Nobody accounted for him. And he makes it 89-80. Nice pass by Nick Claxton. Cannot exchange buckets. You got to get back on defense. Grimes over at the Toyota sign. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. George was looking for the ball. Instead, Adembona has it. Now he dumps it back off over to PG. Finds Adembona downhill on the block. Bona gets it deflected. Still has time. 1 second left to go. He puts up the shot. He got it in, but it doesn't count. Shot clock violation called on the Sixers. All right, so 89-80. And good defense by Brooklyn. 5:10 left to be played in quarter number 4. That's we'll dump it on over to Cam Johnson. Johnson has Watford over towards his right side. Claxton down low gets it knocked loose by Oubre and stolen by Oubre over at the baseline. Oubre at the top of the perimeter. He'll dump it off over to Paul George as he's blitzed. He'll skip past it to Oubre. Nice pass by PG and a nice little finish by Kelly Oubre Jr. It was a nice pass. I got to give him credit for that. He went in between the legs of the defender, and George made it look so easy. Watford for 2. Yes. Got the little floater to go up and in. 91-82. Grimes gets a screen, thinks about taking a 3. He does, and it's a little bit short. And a rebound by Brooklyn as they'll reset it here with Watford running things as the point forward. Claxton is at center. They dump it off to Cam Johnson. A kick out to a 3-point shot, and that is off the mark. Another 3 for Brooklyn. That is off the mark as well by Cam Johnson. Grimes out in transition. Kick out to Oubre for 3. Kelly Oubre knocks it down. K9 again does it. 91-85 with 3:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Nice job by Oubre. Oubre trying to play defense all over Johnson, and they dump it off to Sam. Tuve Blom is out there, and as he tries to throw it, we have a foul called on Adembona. Jalen Wilson also is out there, too, for Brooklyn. I liked that pass from PG to Kelly Oubre. That pass was nice. Okay. 91 points for the Nets and 85 for the Sixers. The Nets inbounded. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Wilson for 3. He puts it up, and he got it. That was a huge three-pointer. And it's a 9-point game. Timeout by Nick Nurse. Jalen Wilson, the 24-year-old from Kansas, was the 9th to last pick in the 2023 draft. Able to crush the Sixers on that huge three. Darn it. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. And hit that bell icon too. And that way you'll know when we go live. Jalen Wilson with a huge three. And the Sixers do call a timeout. They got 4 left. Well, now it's really 3. Oubre is 28 points. Grimes is 21. And George only has 2. 2 points. 2 points for Paul George. 2 points. Wow. If Paul George has 12 points, they're winning this game. He only has 2 points. Three blocks, 2 steals. That's nice. 2 points. No Maxey. No Embiid. 2 points. 1 for 6 shooting wise. Gosh. 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Even Jared Butler has more points. $94-85. With 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Grimes will get the inbound pass. He's on the near wing. He's looking for help. Dumps it back to PG. George goes down the lane, gets it deflected, and it was last touched by Brooklyn. If he's bad now, I can't imagine playoff P. So George will inbound it underneath the baseline. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. They'll give it up over to Bona. Bona back to George. George swings it out to Grimes. Grimes with a catch and shoot 3. And he's fouled. I think he got fouled in the act of shooting. And that's on Cam Johnson. So the Sixers will have a chance for 3 free throws here. And we'll see. They're going over to the sideline. Is there a challenge taking place? Let's see. There was a foul on the closeout. That should be a shooting foul. Ever so slightly. Keon Johnson is going to get called for a shooting foul. This is an official review. Again, 2 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. D'Angelo Russell has 22 points. Nick Claxton has 11 points and 11 rebounds. Trendon Watford has 16 points. And for the Sixers, it's Oubre who has 28, Grimes who has 21, and Edwards with 13. And again, this is an official review. Quentin Grimes, man. He's good. He can play. He can play, man. I like Quentin Grimes. So they're still reviewing this to see if whether or not it is a shooting foul. All right, so they do confirm that it is a shooting foul, and Grimes is going to head to the line for 3 foul shots. Still plenty of time to go. The first foul shot by Grimes, no good. And the Sixers also get the ball back, too. You could really use the free throws here, though, man. First foul shot off the mark. Second foul shot, got it. They can make it a 7-point game and then get the ball back and then a 3 and make it a 4-point game. Third free throw by Grimes, in and out it goes. So he just goes 1 for 3 from the line. That's not good. 94-86, Oubre will be the inbounder here, and he'll give it up over to Paul George. George gives it back to Grimes. Grimes on the far wing, wants to try to drive it inside, goes up with a shot, and he's fouled again. And he will head back to the line for 2 more free throws. So he did anticipate that the contact was coming over from the elbow. It was a flagrant foul that they called, not this time, but it was on the shooting foul that occurred when he was right behind the 3-point line. First foul shot by Grimes, he hits it. It's on Keon Johnson. That's who the shooting foul was called on. It is a 7-point game, 94-87. Oubre back out there, second free throw. Good.
Excellent.
94-88. Russell will inbound it over to, it goes over to Deron Sharp. Trendon Watford gets it now out in transition and dumps it back over to D'Angelo Russell. Edwards guarding Watford. Watford trying to take it right to the cup. And Dembone, I think it's called for a goaltend, right? There's a foul called on Philadelphia. It is a shooting foul on Justin Edwards. So they did not call goaltending on a Dembona because it was a block right before it hit the glass. First foul shot, good, to make it a 7-point game for Brooklyn. Watford with 17 points. He's been perfect at the line. The fourth free throw, he hits it. And it's back to an 8-point ball game with 2:27 left to be played. Oubre gets it for the Sixers. The inbound pass from Paul George. And he dribbles it up with his right hand, dumps it back off over to Grimes. Grimes gives it over to George. PG is double-teamed, and he's looking to throw it away, but it's intercepted by Johnson, and Johnson's layup is good. They've been double-teaming Paul George all night long. 10-point ball game. Sixers down 98-88. Grimes with a backdoor pass over to Oubre, and it's rejected by the Wall himself, and that is Nick Claxton. And the Nets are in no particular hurry. D'Angelo Russell gets it over at the logo. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. 1:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Watford at the top of the key. Looks for Russell for a tray. No. Offensive rebound by Brooklyn. And they reset it. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. To Sam, to Vam. Gets it over at the top of the key. There's now D'Angelo Russell with 1 second left, and there's a wide open 3, and that's good with the shot clock winding down, and that could be the dagger. Wilson with another huge 3 with 1:17 left to go. And it's 101 to 88. Did he get it off? I don't know. I don't think he got it off. That's still in his hands. That's still in his hands. And so they are going to review this. It is an official review. And that should not count. That should be a shot clock violation. So the Sixers could still be in this, technically speaking. $1:19 on the game clock, so they take away the 3. And it's 98 to 88 instead. A double a man that has 2 points. It's crazy. Yeah, but they know that they're going to try to go through him, though. They do. They know that they're going to try to go through him, and they're just trying to make somebody else beat them. And nobody else on this team has beaten them except for Oubre and Grimes. That's it. Philadelphia will get the inbound, and it'll be George who gives it up to Quentin Grimes. Yabusele back out there for the Sixers, and Grimes almost threw it away. Yabusele back to Oubre over on the far corner. Oubre on the drive, and he's fouled with exactly 1:04 to go. And Sixers not technically done yet as Cam Johnson gets called for a shooting foul. And Oubre will try to get his 29th and 30th points at the charity stripe. Sixers are 1.5 games behind the Chicago Bulls for the 10th seed. First free throw by Oubre. Got it. Adem Bona is going to check back in for the Sixers for Gershon Yabusele. 98 to 89. And Oubre with the second free throw. Here it is. He got it to go.
Excellent.
Sixers got to get stops on defense. Watford looks to inbound it, and he gives it up over to D'Angelo Russell. Russell has to get into the front court. He'll throw it over to Watford again. Watford downhill to Wilson. They swing it around the timeline. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. D'Angelo Russell's looking to pass it back over to Watford. Watford downhill. Easy deuce by Nick Claxton, and a timeout called. Again, nobody covers Nick Claxton. It's just easy work for him. And with 44 seconds left, the Sixers burn a timeout. Nick Claxton with a slam, and the Nets lead at 100 to 90 with 44 seconds left. Mike says that this PG thing, I think that you just genuinely at this point have to just make up an injury and send him home for the rest of the year. Going from watching the Eagles to this. True. Cam Johnson just was headed back to the locker room about 5 minutes ago. Nick Nurse has been reluctant to go to lineups with no point guards this season, but all the length and verticals that he's put out has really made a difference. I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. Sixers will inbound it with 44 seconds to go. Edwards tries to throw it over to Paul George. The ball gets deflected, and it's still going to be Sixers ball. Just got to switch sides. Instead of inbounding it from the far sideline, they'll inbound it from the near sideline. It just took about 2 seconds off. They give it up over to Quentin Grimes. Grimes trying to go down the lane, and he hits an easy layup, 100-92. Grimes, the Sixers are obviously going to have to foul here. Sixers try to get a steal. Grimes throws it, and, well, I think it's going to be Sixers ball, right? It is, because the ball was out of bounds as Grimes played really good defense with 34.8 seconds to go. Let's see again. Grimes had it, and then it was Dielman who touched it last, and he just got it on his... Just got it right there. Grimes with a three. No good. And they needed that, obviously. They looked to try to steal it. And a foul is called on Justin Edwards with 29 seconds left. Or a timeout is taken, I should say. Excuse me. Brooklyn will burn their final timeout. Man, if they could have hit that three there, that changes a lot of things. That would have changed a lot. Grimes did play very good backcourt defense. And just could not hit the three from the near corner. What time is it now? It's 9:52. Well, how long have we been going on? 2.5 hours. Yeah. 23 people still tuning on in. Thank you so much. Again, please like and subscribe and continue to spread the word for everybody, man. Just hard to believe. Really. They've lost so much life out there. When looking for Eagles great gear yesterday, I found Sixers hats and t-shirts in the bargain bin. $20. That's wild. Wait for this rant at the end. 29 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Claxton will look to inbound it here. And, well, they call an 8-second violation. And it'll be Sixers ball again. 192. 8-second violation, and it's Sixers basketball. So now Edwards will inbound it. Remember, they still have one timeout left, too. So still not over. Edwards gives it up over to Grimes. Grimes goes down the lane, goes up with a layup, hits it. It's 194. Sixers got a foul. Edwards throws it away. Grimes gets the steal. Another layup for the Sixers, and it's a 4-point game with 20 seconds to go. Another careless turnover by Brooklyn. They'll try to inbound it again. This time it's Wilson who gives it up over to Watford, and we have a foul called with 17 seconds left. And George says they might want to review this. What the heck? The Nets just cannot close it out, and I think Nick Nurse is going to challenge this. Oof. Quentin Grimes. So the Sixers are going to challenge this play to see if this was a foul or not. Man, if Grimes would have hit that three, it would be a 1-point game now. Nets are just having a hard time at closing this thing out. If the Sixers lose this challenge, then they lose their final timeout. Paul George thought that it was all ball. If it is, they still have a shot. 196 with 17 seconds left. They were trying to go for another steal. I don't know. George was asking for a review, and he got a review. They called a shot to the head from Paul George. That's foul number 2 on PG. So no more timeouts and no more fouls to give for the 76ers. And the Nets will inbound it here. Be nice to try to get another turnover. Watford looking to try to inbound it again, and he gives it up over to Russell, and they call a charge. They call a charge on D'Angelo Russell, I believe. Let's see. Russell elbowed him right there. He elbowed him right in the face. 16.1 seconds left, and the Sixers are going to get the ball back again. And Edwards will inbound it, so it's not over yet, folks. Edwards will inbound it over to Yabusele. They give it back to Grimes for 3, and Grimes' three-pointer's no good. Grimes tries to save it. He gives it back to George. George steps back, gives it back to Edwards. 5 seconds left to go. Edwards for a three-pointer. That's no good either, but no foul was called. It was a little bit short, and that's it. So the Sixers lose by a final score of 100-96 to the Brooklyn Nets. And that's it. That ended pretty wildly, if you ask me. Wild fashion that game ended. No fouls were called. Contested shots, and the Nets did what they had to do on that very last possession. They were able to lock all windows and doors on defense, but it got pretty dicey. And that's another loss for the Philadelphia 76ers as they end the first half of the season 20-34. And that's it. That ended in a wild fashion. I want to thank you all so much for being on here. We have a post-game show that's coming on right now. Quentin Grimes, over his last 4 games, I'll give you one positive if you want any positives. Quentin Grimes had 30 points in tonight's game, 9 rebounds and 4 assists. The game before that, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. And then he had 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, 14 points, 2 assists, and 1 block, and was 5 for 9 from the field. He's a good player, man. I like watching Quentin Grimes. Yeah. And now let's get to the elephant in the room. Also, Oubre, I thought, played his butt off tonight. Grimes and Oubre had 30 points. A lot of it was in garbage time, but 60 points combined. And here's the crazy thing, right? Let's go to our monologue screen and let's talk about this. The elephant in the room. The elephant in the room. Guys, give me the PGs in the chat. Give me those Paul Georges in the chat right now. Because we need to talk to Paul George. My man played 37 minutes. And he had 2 points. 37 minutes and had 2 points. Two points. 2. You know how embarrassing that is? 2 points. That is horrible. Two points. Who would have thunk? Really? 2 points, 6 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 0 for 5 from 3. Didn't attempt one free throw. And was 1 for 7 from the field. 2 bleeping points from a guy who's getting paid how much money? How much money? A 4-year, $211 million, $584,940 deal. He's getting paid $49 million this year, and he only made 2 points. 2 points. That is bad. If he gives you 10 points in this game, they win. Tough luck. Well, it's not tough luck that Paul George only had 2 points and only put up 7 field goal attempts. That's not tough luck. That's just embarrassing. That's atrocious. There's no tough luck in that. Quentin Grimes had the best game of his career, put up 30 points. Oubre played very well at the end, gave you 30. And Paul George plays 37 minutes and only gets you 2 points. Justin Edwards played 31 minutes and gave you 13. And again, Council only plays 4 minutes. Jared Butler gave you 25 minutes, and at least he gave you 8 points. He's a good passer, too, by the way. I like Jared Butler. Butler and Grimes are the real deal, man. They're good. Butler turned the ball over a couple of times, though, tonight, and I didn't like that. But he had 2 blocks. Played pretty good defense out there when he had to. Just 2 points, man. 2 bleeping points for a 34-year-old who played in 37 minutes. I don't want to hear that he had 3 blocks and 2 steals in this game. That's not why you signed him. Flat out F. Oh, but he was a +8 out there. This is where stats lie. Sorry, this is where stats don't tell the full truth. +8. Should have been a -25. Wow. I just don't know. Send him home. Send him home. Get this man off my basketball team, man. Say that he's hurt. Don't let him play. Unless your goal is to tank. If the goal is to tank, then just be straight up with us, Daryl. Be straight up with us. Because at this point, this product sucks. It sucks. And it's an absolute disgrace when you compare this team to another team who's ready to have a parade on Friday. This team is a joke. They're a laughingstock. 2 points for a guy getting paid $211 million over the next 4 years. Wow. Crazy. All right, that's going to wrap things up for me. I really don't have much else to say. I got to go to bed early tonight. I love each and every one of you, though, man. And I will catch you all tomorrow. All right? I'll be transparent. Love you, JJ, and all my Philly freaks. I'm heading over to RB. No worries. I'm gonna be done. I'm done. I don't really have anything else to say. They're just a laughing stock, man. All right, love you all. Bye-bye. Good night.